Wow. Do we have a day?
I think we should set a day aside for that.
Yeah. It is huge, and it is unfortunate for Africa, and I would say unfortunate for humanity, what is going on in Nigeria. Nigeria is the largest economy in the continent of Africa. Nigeria is the largest producer of oil in Africa, and to have a situation where ordinary people don't have food, where people are being kidnapped. My friend returned from America to establish his family back in Nigeria. He's a professor, and they build a home, and the next thing he knows, they kidnapped his brother. So he packed, and his family, they went back to America, not in Nigeria. They're Nigerians, friends of mine, who have now come to Kenya and asked, we give us a piece of land. We want to settle here. They're settling in Kenya. Now, Africa cannot just give up. There are two things that is happening. One is inept political leadership, which is all over Africa and responsible for a number of our woes and why we're not moving ahead. The next thing is level of corruption. If you look at country by country, compare in Africa, we're one of the most corrupt countries, a continent in the world. And Asia was able, particularly Lee Kuan Yew, was able to ruthlessly deal with corruption by targeting his own family, by being an example to the whole country and the whole world. So every major business departments of universities in the world are talking about Lee Kuan Yew as an example, including Harvard University. And we know that there are a lot of Nigerians who are highly educated. They're in America, they're in Europe, they're everywhere else. These people collectively can turn Nigeria around to what it needs to be. Thirdly, the third point, which I'm very pleased about, President Uhuru really, particularly toward the last part of his regime, proved to be a leader, not only of Kenya, but a leader of Africa. And he was widely accepted as a leader. He brought literally the DRC Congo into the African community fold. And the role that he played, that Fatma talked about, he can talk to Kagame, he can talk to Museveni, he can talk to everybody because he has a personal, soft leadership style, which resonates with diplomats, and very quickly. And I made a statement just before his last regime and President Ruto were coming, that the best thing President Ruto will do is let Uhuru continue with this role, what he was playing, both in Somalia, in Ethiopia, and also in DRC Congo. So African Union has done the right thing, the kind of role that Obasanjo is playing. President Kenyatta has now joined in that regime, and we need it badly in Africa, because our elections and transitions to those elections are not something that you're looking forward to. You can now look at the issue we are having in Kenya. So Nigeria has had its own share from the beginning. On the other hand, Nigeria has moved in very strongly to be a leader of West Africa militarily. It has intervened in many situations that hopefully can bring the West Africa together, like we are doing in East Africa. But people have to look at the internal dynamic of Nigeria. People have to look at the transition the current regime to the next regime. How well are they going to do it? I was with Goodluck Jonathan last year. I was a keynote speaker in one of the university graduation. And we spend a lot of time, he and I, we spend a lot of time talking. And when you listen to Goodluck Jonathan, when you listen to other retired presidents of Africa, they're saying the same thing. We could do it better. We have done A, B, and C. We can change. And so political ineptness and corruption, level corruption, is our biggest enemy together. That create the wolves that we have in Africa. And therefore we cannot manage, we cannot focus. You know, each department cannot focus like they've done in Singapore, so that they will produce goods and service for the people. So we're looking at, hopefully President Uhuru and the team will do a good job to bring in the new team for Nigeria. A number of people who are running are fairly competent people with a lot of experience. We want Nigeria to be a leader in West Africa, so that we have South Africa, southern part of Africa, the East Africa, the West Africa, and the North Africa, and then we can talk about the Union of Africa.